Hey guys, welcome back to Sports Bar. We are back with another podcast. I know it's been long, but
Mm,
hopefully we are back and we'll continue making videos and podcasts again. So great. So we'll start talking about football this time.
mm,
We'll talk about various leagues and we'll start off with Premier League again. Not a very good week as far as the Premier League giants are concerned. We'll talk about Leicester City first. So
mm.
4-2 against Newcastle United and they were at the receiving end. What do you make out of the game?
I think it was very disappointing result for Leicester because considering they are in the race for top four and they would not
Hmm.
like to miss it again. Last year we all know on the last day they got they lost to Manchester United and they were out of the top four. So again, this if, yeah, so if they miss it this year, it might be what you can say a great loss for them. And probably their morale would get down for the next season because they are playing really
Hmm.
well and just in the business end as we call it, April and May in the business end they are losing these games like to Newcastle, like you can say about Newcastle which they should have won because Newcastle, they are not that
Correct.
impressive side as they were back in those days. So all the
Hmm.
fault goes to Leicester City. And yeah, and if you look at, and if West Ham and Liverpool, win the games that they have in the games they have over Leicester, then they are 2 and 1 points respectively behind Leicester City. So yeah, a lot of pressure will be on them, and especially if as the Chelsea won yesterday, so that meant that
Hmm.
Chelsea have leaped from them to the third position, and Leicester have dropped down to the fourth position. So yeah, very disappointing loss for the Leicester.
I'm actually hopeful of
Mm-hmm.
Leicester City making it to the top four. Of course, we all know it wasn't a good season as far as the last season is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
They were at the receiving end for most of the times as far as the second half
Mm-hmm.
uh, was going on. So this time, actually, I am really hopeful of them making it into the top four. Like I said, again, if they keep on losing to teams like Newcastle United, it's going to be tough, and they've got tough fixtures ahead. But hopefully, they'll make it into the top four, and we'll see them in the Champions League
Yes,
next season. So yeah,
out of the I think three that they have three fixtures remaining. Out of the two are against Chelsea and Spurs. So yeah, very tough fixtures for them.
very tough fixtures, like I said.
Mm,
So next we'll talk about Leeds and Spurs.
mm,
Again, Spurs at the receiving end, 3-1 against Leeds. Not really surprised because I saw Leeds doing really well. The first game against Liverpool, I remember, and we made a video as well.
yes.
So I know that team had a lot of potential, and they really beat Spurs like that. 3-1 is a huge result.
All the result, all the players should go to Bielsa and his training. So Bielsa deploys a training known as murder ball, where it's an 11-a-side 20 minutes game where fouls are okay, there are no offsides. Ball has to stay in the play for the whole 20 minutes. And the one what you can say the one rule of murder ball is that you have to run each and every time. So whenever
Hmm.
you don't have to stop in the 20 minutes. Once you start running, you have to keep running for 20 minutes on the pitch and you cannot stop at one place. So yeah, all the credit goes to that training because if you look at the game which that both of the team had, Leeds won
Hmm.
because of the high physicality and the hunger that they had, to pounce on each and every ball that they had. They were moving
Hmm.
forward. They were creating those overlays on the vertical flanks. That they were having that advantage. So all the what you can say praise goes to that training and the physicality of the players, that they enjoy in the training. And yeah,
Hmm.
this is the result of that training only that training as well.
And Spurs also sacked
Mm,
Joseph Mourinho.
mhm.
How did that affect their game against Leeds? What do you think? Do you think they would have won if Mourinho was there and they had all their morale with them?
Maybe Mourinho. If you look at the current Italian manager that the Spurs have, Ryan Mason. I guess his name is Ryan Mason. He's just 27, 29, 27, 28 years old. He's even younger than Harry
29
Kane.
years old, correct.
Yes, he's younger than Harry Kane. They were best friends with the Spurs. So you have such a young manager. Going up against someone like Marcelo Bielsa, who is known
Hmm.
hailed as one of the greatest managers of the new era, and he was the mentor of
Hmm.
Pep Guardiola. So yeah, maybe if Jose was here, things might have been different. They might have won that Carabao Cup considering but Jose's record in the
Hmm.
final. He rarely loses a final. So yeah, things would have been different. Might have been different. Uh, they would have won the Carabao Cup, but maybe 50-50 against the Leeds if Jose was there.
The curse of trophy continues in
Mm.
Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah, so we'll move on to another London team playing against Manchester City this time,
Mm.
and City defeated 2-1. Sorry, Chelsea defeated 2-1, and maybe we saw the glimpses of what we are going to see in the UEFA Champions League final.
To be honest, the I think so, both the team, both the managers, decided to keep their trump cards in the pocket and not to reveal them as now, and get themselves,
Trump
what
cards.
can I say, acquainted to what they are going to do. So again, Pep did 9 changes from the side that played PSG in the semi-final. Riyad Mahrez was not there, Phil Foden was not there, De Bruyne was not there. So a lot of players who don't get much time like Ferran Torres, Nathan Ake. Then you
Mhm.
have Jesus, Sterling, those who are out of form players or maybe not don't get that much fit, and those players were playing. So yeah, I think so. Pep. I would say that Pep, what you can say, Pep was more keen to hide his cards than Tuchel was, because Tuchel just said Mason Mount, and I guess it was Kai Havertz who he rested. Pulisic was playing. So yeah, I guess this you can say that this is not the final that we expect in the this is not the game that we expect in the final. Final would be a lot more different. Here we got to see 3 goals, but we might not see many goals in the final, and we will see some tweaks from Tuchel. And again, if you look at City, the way they played, they usually play 4-3-3, but yesterday they were going three at the back, trying to match what Tuchel, yeah, what does, and just trying to experiment with the squad, and just see, can maybe if you can see that if certain thing is going well, so he might try it in the final. So yeah, it was a good what you can say practice for both of the team, and to see what one does in certain situations. So yeah,
Mhm.
but I would like to say expect a different final like than the game they had previous
2021.
last day.
Exactly. And you know what I personally thought was Pep wasn't really worried about
Mm,
Chelsea's game. He was going to win the Premier League now or later. He just need 1 or 2 points, and it will be impossible for the other teams to catch up. And Manchester City, Manchester City will be crowned as the Premier League champions. So he wasn't really worried about it. He just wanted to test his players,
mm.
wanted to see what Tuchel does, what he might do in the Champions League final, and I'm sure he has a plan against them. And we are hopeful to see that in 3 weeks coming. Hopefully, City will win their first UEFA Champions League final,
Mm.
and Pep again in the UCL final after 10 long years.
So again, I think so. Pep, as you can say, he's a mastermind. He's just don't overthink tactics like he did last year against Leon. Trying to play that 3-4-2-1 system
Mhm.
that players usually aren't acquainted to play. So again, there will be a lot of pressure on Pep as well. So I know we can't figure out what Pep is trying to do right now in the final.
Mhm.
So yeah, just don't overthink the tactics. Things have been working really good this year. They defeated Dortmund, they defeated PSG. So yeah, so things have been going really good for them. They are Premier League champions, as well, so things have been going really well. Just don't overthink the tactics, and put too much pressure on yourself
Mhm.
as a coach.
Yeah, so we'll move on to another European league this time. We'll talk about the UEFA Europa League, Villarreal and Manchester United. Of course, Manchester United will start as favorites, but
Mm.
Unai Emery has been the king of Europa League as far as the recent times are concerned. I think he's got 3 or 4 UEFA Europa League titles in recent years. Like yeah,
Mm.
three, and he's in the final again this time with Villarreal. And Villarreal is an underrated La Liga team. They've got big names like
Mm.
Gerard Moreno. Last year he was the second highest goal scorer. Again this year he is in the top 5. So we are all expecting him to shine against United and take his team to the Champions League next season.
Unai Emery can look at all the other matches in the competition and say, three for me, as the special one once said, three for me, two for them, respect, respect. Like he can, do that sort of a thing. But again, he's a good manager. At Arsenal, it did not work for him at the Arsenal. But he's a very, what you can say, a diplomatic manager, who does not think twice, like Mourinho, who we can call him as a pragmatic one, constantly working on the same thing. Even if it is not working, he will force players to do those same things each and every day. Whereas Unai Emery, he's diplomatic. He would find a way around it. Slightly tweak his tactic, day week after week, to
Mhm.
accommodate what his opponent will do. So yeah, he's a really good manager. And if you compare him with the one that United have, that is Ole, I feel Ole is a
Well,
little bit of pragmatist. He has done great job, but I again don't think that he is one of the top managers right now. And it will be a good game. And you talked about Gerard Moreno. I will like to add another game named Chikwueze. He has done really well against Arsenal. Villarreal looked very you can say good on the attacking front, when he was playing. So yeah, Chukwueze is another name like that I would like to add in that, Villarreal versus United plan big match. Chukwueze has that pace, he has that flair, he has that dribbling, which would be required to
mhm,
break through that United defense. So expecting it to be a close KG affair, see it as a final.
mhm.
And I would like to predict it, as a nil-nil final because both teams, would like to play it a little bit cautious, given, it's Villarreal's first ever final, and as well as, it's Ole's first ever final as well.
All right. And since we are talking about Europa League, it could
Mm,
have been an all English final in
mm,
the European football this season, but disappointing result for Arsenal. Villarreal literally beat them one side, I'll
mm,
say, because of course Unai Emery's got that luck as well,
mm.
but Arsenal did not look as much good as we expected them to, and they're in the ninth position in the Premier League as well,
Mm.
and they've missed out on another final. So no European football for them next season.
I would also like to say, where Unai Emery defeated Arsenal one-sided because the way that Arsenal played, in the first leg, if you watch the highlights of the first leg, Villarreal were 2-0 up in the first half, and most of the people were thinking, it would have been 3-0 or 4-0. In the second
Mhm.
half, Arsenal got an, what you can say, penalty, which again should have been a penalty, might have been a penalty. Arsenal were lucky enough to get that penalty and score that. So they had something coming to the second leg, but again, uh, they Arsenal just hit one shot on target, and two of the shots from two and three shots from Aubameyang were hit the post, or they were really close. So again, you can say Villarreal defeated Arsenal one-sided. But yeah, there's a lot of work for Arsenal to do, given that they will be missing the
Mhm.
European football for the first time in the past 25 years. They will be not playing. They will not play in any European competition. Yeah, I think so, and it's so difficult, for them to qualify even for Europa Conference League as well.
And this season, Arteta as an Arsenal manager
Mm.
hasn't really worked. So, do you think Arsenal might change their manager next season, or they will back Arteta this time again to
Uh,
like make it into the top four since they do not have anything to lose next season?
it's really hard to say, because the Arsenal board, it's very difficult to predict what they will do.
Mhm.
I would like to say that they might sack them. They might sack him because again, but if you look at the market, who's available. Maybe Allegri can come and join in, or maybe someone
Hmm.
like Bielsa or Graham Potter from Brighton might try to join Arsenal. But again, I would
They have a
say
chance to sign Arsene Wenger again.
I don't think Arsenal would like to come back. He's enjoying
Exactly.
his retirement,
Very
and
unlikely for Arsene Wenger to join Arsenal back.
yep.
But if I was Arsenal, I would still have Arteta in my team
Mm,
for another season because, like I said, they have nothing to lose for the
mm.
next season. And in such circumstances, we can hope that he can actually show what he's capable of, what his system is, and is that system really working
Mm.
in their favor? Because and that now is the time for them to do so because they have nothing to lose, like I said.
But the problem, would be if you keep Arteta as a manager for another season, and if the same type of results follows on, Arsenal are still losing and
Hmm.
not even in the top six or top seven, qualifying for Europa League. So then, if you
Hmm.
sack him in the midway, you are not going to find a quality manager, that you will find right now, because most of the manager,
Hmm.
they like to start from they like to start working from the start of the season, where they get that pre-season to talk with players, to get familiarized with the player, and not much damage is done. So that's when they would like
Hmm.
to start. And in the middle of the season, if you say after 15 games, you will say Arteta is not doing a job. then you might sack
Hmm.
him. Then who are you going to bring in? Most of the top managers, they like to they refuse to come in the midway stage. So yeah, it might be a gamble. They can stick with Arteta, or they can go with a new manager. But I would say that going with Arteta next season might be a big gamble, which might pay off, which might not pay off. But if it does not pay off, then another season might be wasted for Arsenal.
Yeah, another season might go wasted for Arsenal. But again, so we talked about Premier League, we talked about the European football. Now we'll go to Spain. We'll talk
Mm,
about La Liga. As a Madrid fan and Madrid team as well, they might have slept well yesterday because
mm.
0-0 in Atletico and Barca, and those were the top two teams of La Liga as well, as far as the points table is concerned. So now Real Madrid have got a great chance to win all their games and go on to defend their title again.
First, we'll talk about Real Madrid. Real Madrid, they have to play against Sevilla again. I think Sevilla is a really good side. They
Hmm.
have been a title race around for till last week. Now there's a little bit gap between them and Atletico Madrid, 7 point
Hmm.
gap. So yeah, I think Sevilla doesn't have much to lose here over here, but Real Madrid, have much to get, as well as they have much to lose over here. And I think so, the Sevilla manager Julian Lopetegui, who he might be able to he might get his revenge on Real Madrid, because again if Real Madrid lose over here, then it would become difficult for them to catch up with
Correct.
Atletico Madrid. So yeah, anything can go over here, but 50-50, I'm currently 50-50 with regarding Real Madrid Sevilla game.
Hmm.
Secondly, I would like to talk about.
Actually,
Okay.
Actually, Lopetegui might be eager to defeat Real Madrid and have his
Mm,
revenge taken, like you said. Also, imagine having kicked out of your dream job twice
mm,
in the span of 6 months. So that is what Lopetegui went through, and I'm really happy that his side is making it into the top four. They might actually go on to
mm,
uh, make it to top two or top three as well if they go on to win all the games and luck favors them. Atletico, Barca, all these teams lose a game here and there. They might actually go on to win the league as well.
mm.
So huge game for Lopetegui as well, and a game for Madrid. They might go on to win this and make it to the top two. And if they win all the games, they'll defend the title.
So secondly, I would like to talk about Atletico Madrid and Barcelona. It was a nil-nil. First, I don't know. I will take your thoughts about the game. So, what did you feel about that?
Actually, I was expecting a 0-all game.
Mm,
It was just a gut feeling, I'll say. Did not really see the intent in Barcelona players initially, but then Messi made that run, dribbled past a
mm,
few defenders. I thought a goal was coming, but then it went past the pole. So a disappointing result. That was the only moment in the game I saw that something is happening, something is
mm.
going to happen. But other than that, it was just a dull game, and really got bored during the 60th minute and so.
So, my thoughts on the game were that the first half was really boring. Both teams were trying to
Hmm.
get behind each other defenders, but were not able to do that. Atletico Madrid, if you look at the team sheet, their team sheet was lined up to play as 4-2-2, 4-4-2.
Hmm.
But after seeing that, Barca playing five at the back, he shifted, made Hermoso play as a three at the back and shifted Carrasco to play as a left wing back and Trippier to play as a right wing back, which both have
Hmm.
experience of playing that wing back position. So again, that looked like Atletico are really here, to not consider that goal, not give Barcelona the lead that
Hmm.
what you can say the confidence,
Actually,
to win this.
Atletico plays that sort of football. They like to play defensive, and it's the normal results for them are like 1-0, 1-0, 2-1.
Mm,
They like to play such games, but I was hopeful of Barcelona trying to make those runs. Messi trying
mm,
to dribble past defenders and score those goals, but that could not happen yesterday.
mm,
And 0-all was a disappointing result for both the teams because they were looking forward to win the game.
mm.
And since they've lost this, they've drawn this. They've lost 2 points, and that might actually hamper their season ahead with 4 games to go.
I would say, Atletico should have attacked a little bit because, the fullbacks, Jordi Alba and Sergio Dest. Sergio Dest has that, what you can say, raw pace to match. whoever plays on the right side, on the whoever plays on the left side of the Atletico. But Jordi Alba, he's getting older and he does not have that pace to catch up and play both attack and defensive. So I thought that there might be spaces opening up on that flank. So if you would have played 4-2-2, or maybe showed some kind of an attacking intent, or pushed forward a little bit, they might could have used those spaces behind Dest and Jordi Alba to attack and get a goal over Barcelona. So yeah, disappointed in Atletico. I'm more disappointed in Atletico than I'm disappointed in Barcelona. But yeah, expected, as you said, Atletico will always play this kind of pragmatic approach that the Simeone has to play defensive football. So yeah, I think so. Joao Felix should have been starting from the first from the first get go, because Yannick Carrasco was really moving forward. And if someone like Joao Felix, would have been across him, he would have, that duo would have completely destroyed, opened up Barcelona defense, and maybe Atletico Madrid would have won 2-0 or 3-0 as well.
Yeah, Barcelona
Mm,
has been able to secure only 1 point out of 12 against the top two teams,
mm,
yet they are in the La Liga race. So that's the quality of football in La Liga, I'll say.
mm,
But also, that's how you play leagues, because, like I
mm,
said, Barcelona can defeat 15 to 16 teams in the
mm.
league, and they do that very nicely, even though they lose against Madrid, or if they are not able to win against Atletico Madrid, they are still among the favorites to win the league. So that's how I think you're supposed to play the leagues, and that's where the other teams like Real Madrid can defeat these big teams, but somehow they lose
Lose
their way
against
against
Cadiz and Alaves and
mid
Huesca.
teams. Exactly,
Mm,
against the mid teams and the teams that are on the verge of relegation, and
mm.
that's where they drop points, and that hampers their league ahead.
So yeah, if there are 20 teams in the league, and so 19 opponents for you, and even if if you are able to defeat, I'm talking about just 19 games. I'm not talking about 38. I'm talking about 19. So that if for 19 games, so for if you do that double, so you will get for 38 games. So if you manage to defeat, out of the 19 teams, you manage to defeat 16 of them, you get an odd, draw against one of them, and lose two games. That gives 16 into 3 is 48, 48, and one draw point 49, 49. And if you multiply that again by 2, you get 98 points, which I think so, which 98 points are enough to win any league in the world. If for any
Any
20
league,
team league in
exactly.
the world, so 98 points are very, very enough. Just one time, Liverpool lost to Man City last season. Last season, they had 97 points, but Manchester City did better than them. So yeah, most of the time, you can say 98% times 98 points are enough to win 20 man team league, 20 man, 20 man team league in any part of the world.
Exactly. When you know you're better than
Mm,
most of the teams in the league, you should actually make the most out of
mm,
it, beat those teams, and gain all those points. Like you
mm,
mentioned, 98 points is enough to win you any league in the world, and that's what they've been doing for uh, about 15-20 years,
mm.
and they did this season as well, and they're hopeful of winning another title. They are still in the title race, but if Real Madrid goes on to win all the games, and Atletico loses a point here and there, then they might not have a chance.
So yeah, this is all about La Liga as well. So state La Liga race is really good. So from La Liga, we'll go to Serie A, and we all know, Inter Milan is the new
Juventus
Inter
has been
Milan.
struggling, and Inter Milan
Yes, Inter
has
Milan.
been crowned the champions of Serie A. So a different winner we have. So the last time we had a new winner, it was back in 2012 when Juventus won, and since then they've been winning all the titles. It has been now that we have a new winner in Serie A. It has been Conte, who's been exceptional, won the league, and Lukaku also, his period.
In 2012, when Juventus first won the title, it was Conte, who started this streak. He won it for three times, I guess, with Juventus 2012, 13, 14. So he won three times. So, he basically had destroyed, what something that he created. So yeah, all congratulations to Inter Milan and Conte. And the thing that I would like to see, is Inter Milan, try to compete in the Champions League. Prior to that, this season they got dumped out in the group stage. They finished fourth in their group, and prior to that they were dumped out to play in the Europa League, finishing third in the group. So I would like to see them at least play a round of 16 or somehow find their way into the quarterfinals, because Conte
Hmm.
needs that European supremacy as well. Conte has won 5 league titles, 4 Serie A and Premier League. He also has an FA Cup, but he does not have a European, continental European trophy. So I would
Hmm.
like to see Inter Milan in play decent in the Champions League as well.
So the last time Milan won a European League was back in 2010. It
Mm,
was Mourinho who led them to the Champions League victory. And again, the previous season of that 2009, it was
mm.
Eto'o who was in Barcelona who won a Champions League, and next year he won the Champions League in Inter Milan. So he is the only player to win two consecutive Champions League for different teams. So something like that might not happen very soon, I'll say, because
Mm.
that's the competition we have in Champions League.
So we will move on from the blue side of the Milan to the red side of the Milan, that is AC Milan. Do you think that AC Milan, I think so, they were at the top of the Serie A table till January, but after that, their defeat to, I think so, they lost to Inter Milan 3-0, I guess, and after that, they started to fall. Everything started to fall like a piece of, like you can say, a
Cards.
castle made out of cards, house of cards. Everything fell apart, and they are fighting for top four as well. So your thoughts on AC Milan?
Overall, if I have to judge this season, I'll still say AC Milan did a really good job, because till the last season or a season before that, AC
Mm,
Milan were battling in the mid side of the table, but now they are making it to the top four. They might actually have the ticket to the Champions League next season. So I'll say overall, well done. They shouldn't be disappointed with what happened
mm.
after January. Of course, they'll look back, they'll see what mistakes they made, and they'll try to correct them as well. But overall, I'll still say AC Milan did a pretty good job.
So all the congratulations, all the praise should go to Stefan Paoli and his coaching staff, who has risen this AC Milan team from the bottom to the top, and from one team that has gone from bottom to top to another team that has gone from top to the bottom. Juventus,
Hmm.
your thoughts on Juventus?
I really expected Juventus to go on to win this season again, but
Mm,
with Pirlo, it hasn't been what the Juventus fans and Ronaldo fans have expected. Ronaldo, as an individual, has
mm.
been again fantastic. He's among the top goal scorers again, and he's got about 25 or 26 goals in the league. He's at the top, but he still hasn't been able to win those games. UCL was also very disappointing
Mm.
for Juventus. And they might also miss the Champions League spot next season. So yeah, tough times ahead. They've got a tough fixture. They have to play Inter Milan. I
And,
think 2 games later. So yeah,
and
it's
AC Milan
difficult,
tonight as
but
well.
yeah, exactly. AC Milan tonight as well. I think they can beat AC Milan,
Mm.
but Inter Milan is going to be a tough nut to crack for them.
So yeah, I would like to see Real Madrid, Cristiano Ronaldo playing in the Europa League next season alongside Juventus. That will be a great sight to see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Ronaldo has played in the Europa League. So
Mm.
him playing in the Europa League would be something new, and Europa League TRP would also skyrocket next season if that
And
happens.
new challenge for him as well, playing in the Europa League.
Yeah, new challenge for him as well. Correct.
So again, he can add that trophy to his collection as well.
Hmm.
So yeah.
But I don't think Ronaldo will be very happy to play in the Europa League,
Mm.
because he's made for the Champions League, and he'll be really keen to score goals in the coming matches ahead and make his team win.
So before just a minute, we'll talk about Andrea Pirlo and his inclusion into the as a Juventus manager. So again, Juventus, removed Sarri as their manager and they replaced him with, first of all, a season ago, they removed Allegri and replaced him with Sarri just to win Champions League. Juventus failed. Again,
Hmm.
they removed Sarri and placed Andrea Pirlo. Again, Juventus has failed. Do you see Pirlo going anywhere else? Because you removed Allegri, you removed Sarri because they were winning Serie A, but they didn't win
Mhm.
Champions League. So for the same reason, can you see Pirlo going anywhere, going out of the Juventus?
Honestly, when Tottenham Hotspur sacked Mourinho, I was
Mm,
actually thinking maybe Juventus could hijack
mm,
Mourinho in Serie A and have him as a manager and sack Pirlo midway, because they are actually
mm,
they've got nothing to lose now. They cannot win the Serie A. They're out of the Champions League. So what's the problem? You could
mm.
easily make him manage your team and start preparations for the next season right now itself. But they missed that
And
chance
Mourinho has
and
experience
they're stuck with
working with
Pirlo
Ronaldo
now.
as well.
Exactly, he's worked with Ronaldo, and I think he's won a league with Ronaldo as well back in
Mm,
2011-12.
yes.
So it could have been a great move, I'll say, but could have been a move.
Mm. Again, we would like to say that Jose Mourinho has joined Roma, so he will be working as a manager of
Hmm.
Roma from next season. So all the best for him. And we will like to end this podcast by saying that Bayern Munich are Bundesliga champions for the ninth time in a row. So do you see anything? I just have to say, ask you, do you see anyone dethroning them in the Bundesliga anytime, any soon?
Uh, Not anytime soon, but Leipzig are second in the league. They've got a lot of money pumped into them by Red Bull.
Mm,
So if they challenge Bayern Munich, it has to be through money. So if they buy those big players
mm,
and like that, if they challenge, then it can happen, but not anytime soon, because Bayern Munich really have their grip firm on the title.
mm. So Bayern Munich, next season, Hansi Flick will not be playing will not be managing Bayern Munich. RB
Hmm.
Leipzig coach Julian Nagelsmann will be managing Bayern Munich from the next season. So your thoughts on that? Your thoughts on Bayern destroying their league, because there have been a lot of things. After Nagelsmann joined Bayern Munich
Hmm.
and left Leipzig, terminated his contract. So do you think Bayern are destroying their own league, trying to sign these great matches and great players from other teams?
Uh, I mean, Bayern Munich as a unit are doing really well both in Champions League and in their domestic league as well. So when it's like that, then I don't think you can actually say that they are destroying the league, because they are doing good everywhere. But if it was the case like PSG, they are losing in the Champions League and winning everything in the domestic league, like that time you can say that yeah, they are destroying their own league. But now I think it will be very wrong to say, because that's how Bundesliga has been working.
Mm,
And I read it somewhere that German leagues are more about bringing good players in their national teams than
mm.
having them compete in their own league for so and so games. So I think it's been going on for so many years. It will continue to do so. Nothing new happening.
So yeah, I personally feel ki Bayern Munich, maybe it might not be a bad thing as PSG
Hmm.
and Man City do by pumping in all those cash and all those money into the club. But yeah, I feel ki, play all the other clubs, to start selling their players. I know, they cannot say it up to a player that you are not going to buy Munich, because they don't have authority to do that. So yeah, I personally feel ki, all the teams, all the other clubs should start, trying to, what you can say, even though they don't have much money, but they try to say
Hmm.
should hold on to their player, and the money that they get from buying it, try to get some more money so that you can invest it somewhere else to get some new players. So yeah, I also think that this is not a wrong thing, but again it
Hmm.
goes against the ethics, some ethics as well.
Maybe this is where I was in support of the UEFA Super League.
Mm,
Overall, I was like, it's not good for football. But if you see in this way, then yes, it could have been a new challenge for Bayern Munich. When they have to
mm,
compete against only the big teams from Europe, that's where you get, uh,
mm.
those are the testing times, and really if they're doing really good, or they are just beating their old teams.
So there was a meme, on Bayern Munich that Bayern Munich destroying their own league, and they're happy, they're celebrating and all, and they see that someone else is destroying the European leagues, and they were very angry and all. So that
It's
certainly.
as if the other farmers are working, and
Mm,
Bayern Munich are just harvesting the crops and selling
mm,
them for profits.
mm, yes. So yeah, anything you would like to add into this podcast?
Not really. It's just that we are happy to be back,
Mm,
and Hopefully, we'll make more videos, more podcasts, and we've got a lot of scope to improve as well.
Hmm.
We'll see you. Just subscribe, like, share, and all that.
So, I would also say that I am very happy to be back as well. There would be weekly podcasts coming in, not many videos, but we are focusing on a lot of podcasts as we are very busy, and podcast is really easy way for us, to have a conversation with you guys about football or cricket. So yeah, we are very happy to back, and please like, share, and subscribe our videos. Until then, peace out.
Peace out.